right, so what I want to do is I want to jump into this information. And what I want to do is I don't want to talk to you today about specifically what to say, okay? Because that creates robots. None of you guys are going to show the plan exactly like me. I'm not going to do it exactly like Timna. I can't do it the way that Seth does it. Like Seth does it like you're like it's so relaxing. It's like it's so Hawaiian, right? Like it's like you're on like this like vacation, right? Like it's just amazing, right? I don't have the ability to do that. I yell at you. I'm excited. I'm fine. Everybody's gonna have their different personality, but what we want to be able to do is, as we're learning how to show the plan like a chairman, what we want to do is we want to create a structure for the plan, right? And then you can fit your personality into the structure of the presentation, okay? So what I'm looking to do is just share that information with you guys, how I see the plan, and how I've also made some tweaks that I want to do going forward with the presentation, especially for when we have big group presentations, okay? Does that make sense? All right, when we're all together. So the first thing is, oh, and then the other thing I want to do for you guys is I'm going to show you how to do a napkin plan, which is going to be something I think you guys are going to love, which is going to allow you to move through your numbers a lot faster. So when you get that napkin plan, how many of y'all have had this where maybe you hit someone up on social media or something like that, and you said, hey, when do you have some availability? And they said now. And you were like, oh, okay, well, I was gonna invite you to 7 o'clock, right? Or 9 o'clock or something like that, right? And then they might not have the availability there, or they might say, okay, sure, but then not show up. But if someone says now, you want to get the information in front of them. So I'm going to show you how to do what's called a napkin presentation, a napkin plan, and it's going to be a game changer for you, all right? So I hope that's going to give you guys some value. We're going to run through this as quick as possible. Hopefully you'll take notes on kind of what this structure is, but I'll tell you ahead of time what we're looking at, all right? So the first part of the plan, what we're looking at is to set at ease, okay? You're setting people at ease. That's first. I'll go into these in more detail. The second thing is you want to do some kind of dream building, okay? You want to do some kind of dream building. The third is you want to talk, this is where you'll put in, you can tailor make it. Like if you're doing a crypto presentation, this would be where you would put information about what's going on in crypto. If you're using the slides, this is where your cash flow quadrant slide would be in, where you're breaking down what's going on there, all right? The fourth step is where you're going to talk about the academy and the IBO. That's the whole package rolled into one. And then the fifth is going to be a 5-point wrap up, where you're going to wrap up, all right? And then point 6 is really a caveat. And that's what we need to start doing. I think it's going to help a lot of people out. And that's going to be when the meeting ends and you have a guest, it doesn't end for you and your guest. What that means is you're now going to have texted your guest during the meeting and say, hang on real quick, when the meeting ends, I want to introduce you to the speaker, okay? I want to introduce you to the speaker. So now all the people who don't have guests, whatever, they've left. Now there's 7, 8, 9 people on, and now you're introducing them to the speaker. Hey, Saeed, I want to introduce you to Jennifer. Jennifer's my guest tonight. Saeed, and Jennifer this is the 3rd time that she's seen the presentation. You are now sending coded language, right? This is coded language that says if she's come back 3 times, she needs to be closed. It means somehow someone's not closing her, right? So now I can be Saeed now would be able to say, I can be a little more aggressive with my talk to her a little bit, right? Hey, listen, sounds like, you've really got an interest in our platform. You've seen this a couple times. Let's go ahead and get you enrolled tonight. We're going to get you help to plug in. But now Jennifer feels special because she was personally invited to the presenter, all right? Okay, go ahead. So with a question.
Do we do this right on the same Zoom after everybody has left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to have them leave the Zoom, all right? So now That's how I'm going to do my meetings. Okay. That part I have not been approved with Nafis. So if Nafis shuts the Zoom down, it shuts down. But this way, think of it this way. What has Zoom replaced? It has replaced the hotel meeting, correct? Before in our industry, what did you guys do? You went down to a hotel, you went to an office, you went to something, and there was a speaker. Now, how many of y'all ever brought a guest to a hotel meeting? At the end of the meeting, didn't you always introduce your guest to the speaker, or did you just let your guest run out? So why on Zoom do we let our guests run out? And then you can't track them back down or do whatever. You should be introducing your guest to the speaker, allowing the speaker to do some work. And we'll get into that, right? Because you can't edify yourself. It's important because your guests know you, right? Your guest knows you, Jennifer. They remember you from college. They remember this. They might be like, how's Jennifer going to teach me how to trade, right? Or how's this going to happen? Or if you're younger, Travis, they're going to be like, yo, dude, just last week you smashed a beer can on your head. How are you going to talk to me about trading, right? But so you can't edify yourself. So what you need is you need to bring your guest to the speaker. So now the speaker can say, oh, well, it's nice to meet you. Oh my God, you're so lucky that you're working with Travis. Travis has been a part of this academy for a couple months. He's taking it very seriously. I've seen him posting profits in our group. I'm really excited about his journey. You're lucky to work with him. Right now, I've just done a whole presentation. Hopefully I've done it well, right? There's a little bit of trust now that the guest has that I know at least what I'm talking about. And now I can pass that edification on to you. It's called pixie dust. Now your guest is willing to listen to you. Okay, so that's in that last say. So let's go ahead, Jennifer, real quick, and then we'll start from the beginning. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know what 3 and 5 were.
3, I call it, I labeled it as like, you could talk about franchise, crypto, cash flow, Forex, whatever information you want to give them about the industry. So the way I labeled it in my head is that if you use the slides that come from the corporate, there's a slide that details out the cash flow quadrant, right? Where you're kind of explaining, you know, time and all that, right? You're explaining something in there, and that's what that is going to be, right? But if you notice, like when Randy and Wanda, if they get on with Kurt Cobain, Curtis doesn't talk about the academy. He's talking about the crypto and why crypto, right? Like that's kind of in that space right there. And then you're going to bring them to the academy.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And then 5 is going to be your 5-point wrap up, and I'll go through those points at the end in a second. Okay. You said 3 and 5 you needed, right?
You broke up. I'm sorry.
The 5-point wrap up.
Yeah. You broke up on 5.
Huh? I didn't go through the
you broke up on 5.
It's a 5-point wrap up. So it's like a 5-point close. Okay. So let me turn this off because this is going to annoy me while we're doing this. Okay. So here's what we got. All right. So the first thing, set at ease, right? This is when you're telling people, hey, listen, all right, thank you for coming down tonight. You're going to give them a little bit about your story, and you're going to let them know that all you're doing is giving them some information tonight. That's the point of tonight. You can sit back, relax. Hopefully you're in a quiet space because the information is valuable, right? But our goal is to transmit information so that you can make a quality decision for your family, so that you can make an informed decision for your family. You see that wording? See, without the information, you're making a decision, but that decision is uninformed. So today, I'm just going to transfer the information. I'm going to be a plug. I'm going to get you plugged into the information. So now you can be informed so that you can make a decision for your family. All right. And you'll probably put in a little bit about your background right there. Okay. So that should really be a 2 or 3 minutes at the most, maybe 5 if you have a story that you want to tell about, you know, your background. But really, that's the idea, is just to get them to set at ease. This second part right here is huge, and I think it's something that we're missing from the presentations, and I think we should add this in desperately. How many people, for your job and because of COVID, you're now in Zoom hell? Okay? You've been on Zoom after Zoom after Zoom after Zoom. How many of your guests have been on Zoom after Zoom after Zoom after Zoom? How many of your guests had every friend that's a part of a network marketing business already hit them up during COVID about, hey, this is your opportunity right now to get involved in something so you can make some extra money on the side, okay? Zoom hell. So this second part is called dream building. What we're trying to do is wake them out of my long day at work. We're trying to disrupt the normal mental processes of I just get on to the Zoom and listen to this guy talk. Okay? We're trying to get them to remember what it was like to dream, even for a small period of time. Now, on the bigger meetings, the only way this works is if everybody who's part of the team participates in this. Otherwise, it's an epic fail. So I don't care if you don't have your camera on or whatever, for whatever reason, but when we come to the big meetings, you should have your camera on. Like tonight, guys, don't worry, if your camera's not on, I'm not calling you out. That doesn't matter, right? But like when we have the meeting where there's company, when there's company at the house, the camera's on, right? If you can, because it's encouraging them to turn their camera on, right? But here's the other part, is at this point during the dream building session, you're gonna ask a few questions. You're gonna say something like, hey, listen, I know a lot of us, you know, we've gotten into life, we've gotten into our careers, and maybe we had some goals and ambitions, and maybe we put a few of those on hold. What I would like to do for just a minute is have some fun. I'd like us to remember what it was like when we were able to dream big, before life told us that that wasn't okay, right? How many of y'all have ever dreamed about hitting the lottery and what would you do, right? Like that type of stuff. And so now you're going to ask a question, and here's going to be what you're going to say. You're going to be along this lines, is if time and money were no longer an issue in your life, what would your dream house look like? Right? So you're going to pick one or two things. What would your dream house look like? We want to keep this to, 5 to 7 minutes. We don't want to go too long here, but we want to do enough. This is important. This to me is more important that you build in this space and shake up their mind and get them to start having a abundance vibration before the presentation starts, right? If you got to get their thought process into abundance, if you took 10 minutes here, it's okay, because you can shorten your explanation of the academy, because everybody understands college for money, right? So what you're doing here is you're going to ask them, hey, listen, Timna, if time and money wasn't an issue, is there any place in the world that you've wanted to go that you've never had the chance to go to, but you would love to? And she might say, what? Where's a place that you've always wanted to go that maybe you haven't been?
I want to see the sequoia trees in California.
Boom. The sequoia trees in California. Boom. So now when I ask that question, the chat should be blowing up. Marcel should be saying, I want to go to Orlando and see Mickey. Such should be going over here. Turkey, I want to go. Right now the chat is blowing up, which gives your guests now permission to dream. You guys got to understand this. There's a psychology behind what I'm setting up for y'all. It gives them permission to say in the chat what they want. See, if I was in front of them in the room, they're going to talk to me, right? There's the natural inclination. If they're in the front row of a hotel and I ask the guest, where would you like to go? He's not going to just sit there with his arms folded and not talk back to me, because he's going to look stupid in front of the rest of the room. But people hide on Zoom. Now, there's another reason why we're doing this. This is for two reasons. One, to change the frequency that your guest is operating off of. But the real reason is for you as the inviter. I want you to get this. The real reason is for you as an inviter. If it's your guest and you don't write down what your guest wants, you missed it. If your guest says, look, let me give you an example. A lot of times, if I say, Marcel, what's your dream car? If I was paying for it and you can have whatever you want, what would it be? Some people don't know. Some people are like, I think I'm maybe an SUV or something like that, because maybe cars aren't their hot button. But what if Jennifer says, I want a BMW 750, black interior, pink with pink laces, this is that, with these kind of rims on it. Is that her hot button? Has she given some thought to it? Does she probably got a picture of it somewhere that she fantasizes about, right? If you don't write that down, when you go to close, how do you not tie Jennifer back to that car at the end? How do you not say, hey, Jennifer, you see how we're going to be able to get that car that you talked about? Were you serious about getting that? Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? This is the opportunity. This is why it's so important for us to all start chatting and communicating, because this is your time to see what your guests want. Now, you're going to go through 2 or 3 material things, maybe travel, house, car, maybe a charity, something like that, right? And then the last thing you're going to say in this session, and this is important, is that, hey, cars are nice, house is nice, vacations are nice. But really, if those things motivated us, we would probably already start achieving some of those on our bucket list, wouldn't we? I said, but is there something that you've always wanted to do, that you have a passion for, that maybe either lack of time or lack of money has prevented you from doing? What's your calling in life, right? Now, that's when you're getting the real answer. Someone's going to say, that's when someone's going to say something like, well, my mother was abused by my father, and I've always had a desire to open a battered women's shelter, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's when you're going to get an answer, because all the other material stuff, it's nice, but unless someone is like specific and they've honed it down and they know exactly what they want, the colors or that, most of the time they forgot about it because they stopped dreaming, because life beat the dream out of them. But there's always a dream in our heart that we always hold on to, that we don't let that happen to. So that's the one you want to write down and focus on. Does everybody get that? Are y'all getting, is this making sense? All right. So that's the purpose of that. We're changing the frequency. We're getting them thinking about something exciting. We've already kind of, maybe in the intro, when we set at ease, let them know that we're going to be talking about college for money. We're going to have a money conversation and educate, right? Like, we've set them at ease so they kind of know. And now it's like, okay, boom. Oh, I can dream a little. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go into our third step. Okay. Now in our third step, we're going to make the use case, right? If we're in crypto, right? Every crypto project has what? A use case, right? Why are we putting this coin together? What's our technology? What we do, right? So in here, we're going to make the argument that there's value in this education. So maybe it's the cash flow quadrant. Maybe it's breaking down the 4 ways in which people normally earn income, talking about linear income versus different types of income, right? We could talk about trading time for dollars versus residual. You could talk about what's going on in the crypto space. You can even talk about franchising and how franchising has been a model that's setting the seed later for people to want to be IBOs, right? Because our models are franchise. So you can do several things within this space, but you're setting them up. You're teeing them up for the academy. You got them to dream. Now you're making a use case for what it is that you're about to talk to them about. Do we understand? Are we good here? Right? No, you don't understand, Jennifer? So let's say I was doing an academy on DC, a presentation, and my main focus is, hey, this is a crypto presentation. So if you've invited people, you've probably invited them on the case for crypto. So this is when I'm going to talk to them a little bit. I'm going to say stuff like I did just now with Timna, right? I told Timna's guests, how many of y'all would have loved to have been involved in Bitcoin in 2010, 2011? And people are like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I would have loved to. And I said, no, you wouldn't have, right? Because back then you had to be a visionary. You had to honestly believe that this was going to upset central banking. You had to be a zealot, right? There was no proof of concept. Well, let me talk to you about what's going on in crypto now. We've got $1.6 trillion into the market, right? So now we have proof of concept. Bitcoin went from $1 to 58,000. We have this coin over here that does this, right? Like, we can talk to them about now Why crypto? Elon Musk just put 1.5 billion. You can even use articles, like you can pull up some articles and just use the headline of the article and talk to them about what that means. So now you're setting the case for why they need to know about the academy, because most of them don't know those articles exist, do they? So now they see those articles, they see that stuff, and they're like, man, crypto is bigger than I thought. I thought it was just Bitcoin. I didn't know about this. I didn't know about that. Okay, now I see. And now you bring them to step 4, which is you talk to them about the academy. Okay? All right. So step 4, we're going to talk about the academy. You're going to give your disclaimers. Okay? I actually forgot that step today, but the disclaimer basically saying that we don't trade for you, right? That I think Dinesh that says it all the time, right? Where he talks about if you go to the gym, if you don't go to the gym, you don't expect abs. Well, if you don't work, if you don't put in the work here, you don't expect results here, right? So same thing, results are determined on how much work you're going to put in. We don't trade for you. We don't have brokers, that type of stuff. That's going to be in the disclaimer area, okay? Then you're going to talk about the academy. What I like to do is I don't care if there's 100 people or there's 3 people. I like to say, we only got a few people on here right now, right? Would you mind if I gave you sort of a tour, like an intimate look into what it is that we do, a sneak peek, a behind the scenes look, a behind the curtain look of what it is that we really do, right? So now I'm making it seem like they're getting something that doesn't happen on every presentation, right? We're getting a sneak peek behind the curtain. I let them know that we're talking about an education like a college. And if you were making a decision, see, I'm tying down the things that they normally would think about. No one wants to look at college off of a brochure, no matter what they tell you. So I'm taking that away because I don't want that to be the thing at the end. Can I get some more information? I'm taking that away. Look, here's what I'm going to do. Like some of y'all might have kids that are looking into college and whatever else. Do y'all look at the brochure? Or do you guys go visit the campus? You go visit the campus, right? So what I'm going to do is, because there's no way you can make an education decision based off of a brochure or something like that, what I got to do is it's my responsibility. Remember at the beginning, I told you I want you to have all the information to make an informed decision. So it's my responsibility to give you a campus tour, right? I'm framing it in the language. Now I'm going to pull up im.center and I'm literally going to walk them through, okay? I'm going to walk them into the academies. I'm going to do a very short explanation of what each academy is: FRX, HFX, DCX, and ECX. So what I like to do is I like to say these 3 academies are going to deal with currency. I'm going to come back to that. Then I explain to them real quickly what ECX Academy is, okay? Then I shift back to our currency academies. So this is how I explain FRX, very simple. FRX is going to teach you traditional foreign exchange. I give them an example. How many of y'all gone to Paris? When you landed, you switched your dollar for the euro, right? When you came back, you switched it back, no matter where you went to visit, right? That's what most people know, but really the market is bigger than that. And then FRX, what we're doing is we're using units of measurement of price, how much price moves. So I'm just showing them an example. Price is going to go from here to here. They can see a visual, right? They can see me do it. It's just a movement in price. That's how we make money. Now I take them to HFX. I say HFX is also doing traditional Forex, but instead of movement in price, it's in units of time, right? So I'll say we'll put in a trade for 3 minutes, whether it's a buy, whether it's a sell. And at the end of 3 minutes, if that trade is anywhere in profit, we make money when the time expires. Simplifying it, right? I want them to understand and be able to visualize just a simple picture of what we're doing. DCX is going to teach you everything you know about cryptocurrency. How many of y'all know that crypto is really exciting right now? How many of y'all know that crypto is really where currency is headed? We've seen that big time in the last year, right? I'm asking a tie-down question, right? They shake their head, right? Yes, okay, great. So how many of y'all think that it would be important if we know ahead of time that's where money is going, that we should get some education on it, right? And now I'm going to tell them, now what's the difference with the Crypto Academy is it's actually going to do two things, and the other academies just do one, but this is going to do two, okay? With the Crypto Academy, it's going to teach you how to build out a crypto portfolio. So that means it's going to teach you how and what coins to purchase so that your wealth increases every month, or has the opportunity to increase every month. And then the second thing it does is it's going to teach you how to trade the price and volatility of things like Bitcoin. How many of y'all know or have been nervous about Bitcoin because the price moves up and down? Did y'all know that you can make money when price goes up and when it goes down on Bitcoin? So when your friends are losing money, you could be making money. Did you know that? We're going to teach you how to do that. Okay? Simple. Now, have I just explained the academies in 3 easy statements, right? So now we've run through the academy. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take them to go live. Okay? I'm going to walk them into go live. I'm going to tell them, this is your educators. This is like if you were on campus, these are your professors. Now, one of the keys I like to highlight here is I like to highlight 112,000 views for Millie Mills, 100,000 views for Maddie Pips, right? What I'm letting them know is that we don't have some rinky-dink operation, right? That we're helping 100,000 people per week make money. So your guest is knowing he's not by himself. It's not just the 7 people on this call that are involved in what we're doing, right? So I do highlight that, okay? Then I'm going to click on, and I'm going to show them the TV guide, basically the schedule, right? The schedule that there's a lot of people, a lot of educators. I'm going to let them know that it's not like college where they have to sit in on one boring teacher to graduate, right? That one dude who taught accounting 101 and you didn't want to do accounting, but you had to pass his class. You don't have to do that. You find the educator that you like. I'm going to show them how they click the video. Then I'm going to show them the favorite section to show them that, hey, some of this stuff is labeled, and the educators even make it easier for you to get involved, all right? So by the way, I also, let me backtrack a step real quick. When we do the academy, and I tell them about the different academies that are available, during that time, I'm also going to click on one of the academies, whether it's HFX, DCX, and I'm going to show them that they're short videos, right? That's an important part of the process. You got to show them that the videos are short. You're taking the time objection away. If I show you that the video is 6 minutes long, who could tell me honestly, I don't have time to do this? Right? Saeed, that's the first academy I do. What I said is, remember I said I'm going to tell them these three academies deal with currency. And then I'm going to come back to that. But this academy, ECX, I'm just going to explain that it's drop shipping. Why? 99% of the people so far from my experience have little desire to do that unless they came to me saying, can I learn about the Dropshipping Academy? In that case, I'm going to focus in. So if you've invited someone to come and talk about HFX because you guys are crushing it, why spend a lot of time distracting them talking about ECX? Let them know it's available, but then move to what you invited them to see. Does that make sense? All right. So then we're going to move through that. So just show them that the videos are short, right? That's what we're doing. Now we move to go live. We're going to talk about an educator. We're going to show them. And in that talking about the educator, this is the key because you're setting up the next step, is you're going to talk about the fact that the educators are going to allow you to earn while you learn, okay? Earn while you learn. So you'll say Timna, like if I know, like Timna, unlike you had to go to school and you had to learn and you had to, you had to do all the stuff for your medical area expertise, right? And herbs and this and that. What we're gonna allow you, and then while you were doing that, you weren't really earning money with that skill set until you graduated. What we're gonna allow you to do is we're gonna allow you to earn money with this skill set the entire way that you're learning. So before you've even mastered it, you have the opportunity to earn income. Isn't that amazing, right? It's right now you're tying them down. That's unbelievable, right? We have students who are making money while they're learning, right? So that's how you're going to do that. So now, how do you explain that? Well, because the educator is going to analyze the trade in front of you, tell you why they would take the trade, and then they're going to risk their own money right in front of you. The key is it's their own money. So why would I not follow what a 6-figure, 7-figure trader just did right in front of me, right? Earn while you learn, okay? Lastly, now that sets up the last part. I'm gonna move to my strategies. And I'm just telling them that the strategy is basically a tool that you can leverage when you're away from your favorite educator, right? So now, when I'm out and about, I don't have to look and stare at the charts all day, right? What I can do is I can get an alert sent to my phone from my favorite educator's strategy. The one that I'm learning to do myself is now going to send me an alert. Or the software is going to, if you're on HFX Cash Trap, the software is going to scan the market every 5 minutes. So whenever I want to sit down in front of the market, there's a tool that can help me that's based on the strategy that I'm learning, that allows me to have success even when my educator's not present. Does that make sense? I also like to say for busy people, if I know, right, like Dinesh is on the bus regularly, or he's out and about, I can say something like, hey, this Swipe Point is an app that you download to your phone. And based on what you've been learning in the Crypto Academy, it's going to send you a message when the market meets the criteria for the strategy. So what does that mean in real life for you, Dinesh? You're going to be out and about doing what it is that you have to do to earn a living. And all of a sudden the phone's going to ring and it's going to say, hey, Dinesh, I know you're busy, but hey, you know that strategy that you follow that's helping you retire? The market has set it up for you. You might want to pay attention, right? Like I'm making it seem like silly, right? Like, okay, I understand. It's going to tell me I'm going to make some money, right? So I want them to feel like this stuff is easy. Does that make sense? I want it to be as simple as possible, all right? So that's going to be the Academy. Then you're going to move into the IBO. You want to stress that it is optional. I would also like to say here that you can add on the IBO Academy. Do you see how it makes it seem like there's another academy that's going to teach you home-based business? Technically, we do have an IBO Academy, but your content is coming from your team, right? But now it's like there's another academy, the IBO Academy, which you can participate in for those of you who want to learn the skill of entrepreneurship. All right? You let them know it is optional. And at this point, that's when you're going to break down the academy. Okay? So again, sorry, let me just say something real quick. On the academy part, as you finish, you have to tell them the price. Sorry about that. You want to tell them the price and you want to tell them 2 and free. Okay? You want to tell them the price and you want to tell them 2 and free. You want them to know when you wrap up the academy, what does it cost and how can they get their scholarship? Okay? Then that positions you to move to the next part, which is to transition now to the IBO. Why? Because you've told them how to get 2 and free. And so now if they decide to be an IBO, what does it mean? That they've put in referred more customers than 2, and now they have the option to upgrade. You see, that allows that word option to come into play for you because you've referred to 2, because you can't, what you're saying is you can't be an IBO until you referred 2, and then you finally referred the third. Now, technically, someone can sign up as an IBO day one. We just don't want them to do that because of our customer rules that we have within the company, okay? We want them to refer 2 customers, and then on the 3rd customer, we want them to upgrade if they want to. That's gonna protect you so that your volume rules are always kept within the company, okay? Very important. Don't sign someone up as an IBO day one and they haven't put a customer in yet, all right? You want them to be customers first and then transition to be an IBO, okay? That process is now giving you the word to say this is optional, right? You don't have to do this. But once you refer to third, now you have the option to do this, right? So that's what you want to do there. And now you're going to break down the academy. How you want to do it. I like to use examples of residual. I like to use examples that maybe sting a little. Like, did you work hard last year? How many of y'all busted your ass at your job? You did? Well, let me ask you something. Do you know who Elvis and Tupac and Bob Marley and Michael Jackson and Prince are? Yes. What do they all have in common? They're all dead. Well, Elvis made 40 million. So how does a dead person out earn you, right? So now it's like, wait a second. They're thinking like, how does a dead person? Well, okay, because they have residuals. So when they were alive, they earn their income differently. Would you like to learn how without a skill set that requires you to sing, dance, or write books, that you could learn how, right, to access residual income? So it's just, you're doing something like that, okay? So now you've got all that into play, and then you're going to run through the comp plan. Then you're done, okay? Now, as you're finished here, you're going to go into your 5-point wrap up, all right? And here's what the 5 points are. You're going to let them know to get back with the person who invited them, okay? Let them know whether you're interested or you're not, okay? Have the courage to say yes or no. Make a decision, all right? Number 2, if you're interested, you need to get on the person's calendar, okay? Listen, this is how I'm setting you guys up to sound professional to your guests. I'm not saying, hey, just call Timna back. Get on Timna's calendar. Timna's a business owner. She's professional. She works off a calendar, right? Get an appointment with her. You don't have access to her like that. I don't care if you're her daughter. Get on her calendar, right? That's what you want to do. You want to set them up. Get on the calendar and go ahead and allow Timna to give you a guided tour, a launch tour, to walk you through not only the academy one more time and show you where to click and how to click, but she's going to give you a checklist of how to get started. You see what I'm saying? So you're letting them know that they're launching now. That you're going to have a meeting to help them get started. Does that set y'all up for those people that want to start, to get them started the best way possible? So we're setting a meeting for it. It's not just go click my link. Make sense? Now they may click the link that night, but they know I've booked a meeting with Timna for 2 days from now or with the day from now. You want those meetings to be within 24 to 48 hours if possible, right? Okay? To help them get started in their business and get started on their journey, all right? Next, you're gonna say, get plugged into our weekly meeting schedule. So you're gonna let them know that as a team, we have a weekly meeting schedule that is gonna provide some trainings that's gonna fill in the gaps for the company, right? That's gonna maybe be a more private setting. Even the company, the education covers it on a really deep level, but sometimes you might want a little private kind of smaller group setting where you can ask a question. We're gonna fill in the gaps. We have some trainings like risk management or how to use MetaTrader 4 or whatever. And then also there's times that we trade together as a team, and you're gonna wanna come in and make money together because this is a team sport. When we all make money together, it's a lot more fun, right? So now we're getting them on the weekly schedule, okay? Number 4, the 5-point wrap up. This is important because we don't have a traditional system of education that most network marketing companies have. What do I mean by that? Has anybody sold you a CD, a tape, whatever that you listen to in the car that teaches you how to build a business, structure, trade, none of that stuff, right? It's all based on our team. So that personal development part is going to be important. So you want to tell them, plug into morning mentorship. All right, that's step 4. We want to get you plugged in. Even if they're still unsure, you know a way to get them sure again? Plug them into morning mentorship. Guys, I'm giving you guys the keys. Most people require more than one touch with the business. This enables you to look. If he says, I'm not ready to go right now, you can say, hey, listen, let me book a meeting so that you can get on the risk management class, right? So that you can see how you're not going to lose your money, how we're going to protect the money. So now they get on the risk management class with you. They might not understand everything, but they've come back for a second look. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? Then they say, I'm still not 100% sure. And you say, well, you know what? You've got to see how our mentorship program works. Get on with our mentor. This is giving you meetings to book. Our goal, the only reason we have a meeting is to do what? Book another meeting. That's the only purpose of having a meeting. For our business, for our industry, the only reason you have a meeting is to book another meeting. That's it. So when you go into a presentation, your goal should be to get another meeting booked out of that presentation. Is this helping anybody? Right? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you want to invite them to morning mentorship. All right. And then the last thing you want to tell them is, hey, listen, I'd also like to get you plugged into our next upcoming, this is step 5, Super Saturday event. Now, the Super Saturday could be our recognition call, or we could actually have a Super Saturday that month that's scheduled, but we want to get them to some kind of bigger company or bigger team outside of us, the Chairman 25, Jewel Tanker, you know, something that is going to give them a bigger dream. Because listen, all major decisions are made at the bigger events. They're not made like let me just talk about my girl Timna, because she's here. She's crushing this thing, guys. She's been in here a month. She's about to hit P6. She's absolutely crushing this business side. She's up trading, right? She's absolutely crushing it. She believes a lot, but when she goes to her first event, her belief level is going to go to another level, right? And she's going to come back and say, I'm a chairwoman, and it's done, right? All major decisions are made at events. So we want to plug always. We always want to know what the next big event is that we can get someone to, another opportunity to touch the business. You got that? So lastly, once the speaker is done with that, they'll usually pass it back to the host. We'll close out the call. The call is done, but we're not going to close the Zoom. During the Zoom, you're going to have been talking to your guests real quick, texting them or private messaging them on Zoom, whatever. Say, hey, listen, I need you to hang on for 2 or 3 minutes right after the presentation's done. And then what you're going to do is you're now going to introduce your guests to the speaker. Okay? So Kevin, you're going to bring your guest up and say, hey, Marcel, this is Andre, right? Andre, this is Marcel. Marcel, this is his first look. Now, you tell me that, that's coded language to say, I'm going to not only edify Kevin back to Marcel so that Marcel knows that he can trust Kevin, okay? But I'm going to ask him to join the team, but I ain't going to push him real hard, right? I'm not going to go complete 100% savage on him on the first time, right? And if he's not interested right then and there, my goal is to do the work for Kevin to do what? What's the only reason that we have a meeting? It's to book another meeting. So could I book the meeting for Kevin with Marcel so that Marcel has to come back and get another touch, right? So that's what I'm going to do. You guys can't do all that on your own. This is key, guys, right? This is going to help you. There's going to be some people who want to sign up on the spot. Those are easy closes. What about the person that takes 5 times? How do we keep moving them through the funnel, right? And how many people are there that take, how many more people does it take several touches before they say yes than the person who says yes right away? There's more people who takes multiple touches than say, yeah, I'm ready to go right now, right? So what we want to do is have that going. So this is going to be an important aspect. You're always going. Here's the thing: when you introduce the guest to the speaker, you want to maintain. This is a nugget. You want to maintain the edification of the speaker. Do not come to me and say, hey, listen, I want to introduce you to Kevin. He's a triple brain surgeon. He's got the biggest network in his town, blah, 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 blah. I'd like you to meet Andre, right? You've now put it where you're in their guest's mind, even though they didn't know anything about crypto, and the entire time they were looking like, man, this guy really knows his stuff. Now you've made it so the guest feels like he knows more than the speaker. It's subtle, but it's true, right? So what you can say is, hey, Andre, I'd like to introduce you to my guest, Kevin. Kevin works in the medical field. Kevin, as you know, Andre, here's the speaker. You just saw what he was able to do. He's very knowledgeable. I'd like to just meet you. Andre, this is Kevin's first time coming out. Andre, this is Kevin's second time coming out. You're giving him coded language, okay? The other thing is, if I knew that Kevin, this is why, guys, when the testimonials, if there's testimonials on the call, and all that happens during the academy part, right? If there's testimonials on the call, you need to know what every single person does for a living as best as you can. Because if I have someone who's a nurse or in the medical field, what I want to do is maybe also at the end of it, before Timna leaves, I say, Timna, did you have any guests? I'm private messaging her. And she says, no. I say, hey, Timna, would you mind just saying hi real quick to my guest? Because he's in the medical field too. People like to know there's other people, right, who are in their profession who are doing this also, okay? So I hope y'all got some keys off of that, all right? I hope that helped give y'all a structure, all right? So, Timna, go ahead.
Okay, I had a quick question, and you just did it in your last presentation. At the point when after you tell them about 2 and 3, and then you're ready to go into the IBO, you had to set an awesome key phrase so that it would help a person to create an imagery of, it's 2 and 3, you're a student, and there was some sort of a transition or a bridge phrase so that then when you decide to be an IBO, now you have to go ahead and pay $175 again because, and there's something that you said, right. And I was that was awesome.
You're foregoing your scholarship so that you can go in business with the company, so that you can partner with the company to create an educational franchise or to create an entrepreneurship opportunity for yourself, right? And with that, not only are you going to earn $150 a month of residual income, but there's tax advantages and other things that'll come into play because you now own a business. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So, guys, oh, let me see the chat. I might have missed a question. Sorry, I apologize. All right. Perfect. Perfect. So everybody understands the keys now. If we do this on the live presentations, when the whole team is together, you have to respond during the dream building session in particular, okay? Everybody has to respond. That's gonna be a key, all right? Really, anytime someone asks a question, the team should be throwing it. If he says throw some ones in the chat, whatever. But in particular, if we're doing that, people have to engage. I know we're all tired. I know we're been on 3 Zooms today and a go live and whatever. And it was like, man, I just jumped on this presentation just to support. Don't just have your face there. Use the chat, okay? That's what your guest is seeing, the chat, right? It's blowing up all the time. Go ahead, Timna.
Okay, one more question. This 5-point closing process, it looks like if somebody closes on point number 2, maybe we should go back anyways and do a return visit to make sure they get number 3, number 4, number 5.
Absolutely. I'm going to be telling them the 5 steps or whoever the speaker is just going to tell them these 5 steps. These are the, in other words, you're giving them a call to action. These are the next 5 steps that you need to do. Get back with the person who invited. Get on their calendar. Get the weekly schedule. Get plugged into morning mentorship, and make sure you get yourself to one of our Super Saturday events, right? That you're giving them the schedule. Now you go back with them, right? Your guests, and now you're putting them on your calendar. You're, you know what I'm saying, moving them to the next step. This is just giving you ammunition to help you through that process. All right. So who wants to see a napkin presentation? Anybody? All right. So napkin presentation. What you're gonna do is, and I hope I only got 3 minutes left. I talked longer than I wanted to, guys, but here's what we want to do. A napkin presentation is gonna be simple. What you want to have done is spend a first couple minutes qualifying the individual. Okay. See, we're so excited sometimes to just put someone in, and we got to, what if you sit down with the person and you're like, I don't ever want to do business with this person, right? So you're going to spend 3 or 4 minutes qualifying the person. When someone sits down with you to meet or gets on a Zoom, you're in control. You're asking them questions. What is it that you wanted to sit down with me for, right? What made you come to the meeting, right? Something like that, right? Like, I know you didn't just show up out of the graciousness of your heart. Obviously, you're looking for something. You know, what is it that are you looking for more money? Are you looking for more time? What experience do you have in crypto? What experience do you have in trading? What's your background? What's your, right? Right? You're asking questions like a job interview in a way, right? You're qualifying them as to if you wanted to build a business. Look, Timna, in your medical practice or your practice, right? You don't just hire someone without asking them a question, right? You don't just say, come on and join the team. Hopefully you ask them something, right? Like you say, hey, listen, you know, do I want to even have this person at my practice, in your law firm, or whatever? So this is your business. Now, I know we want to not prejudge and we want to get it in front of everybody, but we want to be in control of the conversation. So once you've done that for 3 or 4 minutes, now you can say, okay, it sounds like you'd be a good fit for what we do, right? It sounds like you may be able to fit into the team, okay? Y'all ready for this one? It sounds like you may qualify for me and my team to work with you. Wow. When someone tells you, what do you want to do? You want to qualify, right? Like, that's the natural inclination. I want to qualify. How do I qualify? What do I got to do to qualify, right? It sounds like you may qualify to work with us, right? Let me go ahead and show you what we do, all right? So literally, I'm just doing this off the top of my head, right? So I can pull this up and I can say, listen, let me ask you a couple quick questions. Number one, are you familiar with college? Yes, right? And are you familiar with money? Would you like to get the skill and get a deeper skill set of money? Yes? Okay, so what I want to show you is what we have basically is we have a college for money. And we're going to do this online. It's going to be all virtual. And what we're going to do is, you can imagine that this right here is going to be our college. It's going to be our university. In here is where we're going to have our classes. Now, we have 3 different academies within this campus right here. We have one called FRX. Hold on, my pen's not working. Sorry, guys. We have one that's called FRX. We have one that's called HFX. And we have one that's called DCX. Now, these academies all serve a different purpose, but what they're going to show you how to do is go into the market and make money. On top of that, we also are going to be able to plug you in to a team or community that's going to have a system that's going to help you learn not only how to build the academy, or not only how to make money, but also how to potentially earn some income in other ways as well. So what happens is, our first academy is FRX. Is going to teach you how to make money through the movement of price. HFX is going to teach you how to make money by units of time. And DCX is going to teach you how to make money with cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, on top of the academy, what we've done is we put some other tools together through our system. And what we have done is we've also provided you one thing, which is called mentorship. And that mentorship comes through something called Go Live. Go Live is where the professors for our academy exist. And what we're going to do is we've got about 175 of them. They're all 6, 7, and 8-figure earners in the trading space. Okay. And what they're going to do is they're going to teach you how to trade either crypto, HFX, or FRX. And you're going to get the opportunity to not only get taught in like a classroom environment, but you're also going to be able to get taught during a live market. A live market where your educators on occasion will take trades right in front of your face that you can copy and paste if you so desired, so that you can do what is our greatest treasure for the academy, something called earn while you learn. Now, besides this right here is absolutely amazing on its own, right? But besides this, we also have a system that allows you to leverage what we call strategies. Now, these strategies are the strategies of our top educators. And all these strategies do is send you notifications on the strategy that you're learning, and they allow you to scan the market. It scans the market for you so that you don't have to sit and watch, right? And you don't have to be looking at charts all day, and you don't have to do all that stuff. Even if you don't even understand what the charts do, what it's going to do is scan the market based on your favorite educator's strategy, and it's going to send you an alert to your cell phone. Now, how often do you have your cell phone with you? Awesome. So wouldn't it be great if while you have your cell phone with you all day and all night, that there's a software based on the strategy that you're learning that's going to send you a trade every time the market meets the conditions for the strategy, and all you have to do is copy that information and paste it into a brokerage account. And again, we're going to help you make money while you're learning. Now, besides this, we have an opportunity for mentorship in a wider wealth community. And on top of that, we have one more possibility for you to earn income, but that requires you to have an entrepreneurship mindset, all right? And we can talk about that later. What I need to know right now, does it make more sense for you to learn how to multiply $1 into 5? Yes or no? Would you like to go to school to learn about cryptocurrency? Yes or no? Do you feel that it's important? These are questions that you can ask. You can sum this up in your own way. It doesn't even have to be the same way every time, but you get the point. You're showing them an academy, FRX, HFX, DCX. What does it do? It's going to teach you about this, 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 and that. What do we have? Strategies. What do we have? Mentorship. You can earn while you learn, and you're doing it in under 5 minutes, and you're piquing their interest, and you're asking them, if I could get you plugged in to a live mentorship session today, would you want to do so? If I would you? If I can if I can get to you to meet one of the top crypto traders in the world today, his name is Curtis Cobain. He's having a private session, right? This would be like if we had a meeting where Curtis was going to be doing the presentation. He's one of the top crypto traders in the world. As a matter of fact, he's the world's #1 person in what's called altcoins. Altcoins are all the other coins that you've never heard of outside of Bitcoin, the ones that have the potential to make the most money. If I had the opportunity to get you plugged into a private closed session with him today, would you make the time to be available? If I, would you? Now, if a person says, no, I'm not interested, they have too many questions, blah, 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 next, you move on, right? This is going to allow you guys to run through this. This is better. This is so much better than oh, well, I don't have time right now. I got to call my upline to get plugged into a presentation. If someone says, I can see this right now, how many of y'all can draw a fake little campus, put the FRX, the HFX, and DCX Academy, go ahead and say, we got a system that's going to teach you some strategies, and we got mentorship that's going to come through our Go Live system? How many of y'all can do that? We're going to teach you how to trade in the market and earn money while you learn. and we're going to handhold you through the process. Do you want some more information? I can get you into a private session. If I could get you into the private session, would you attend? If I could get you on a risk management course, since you said earlier, you said, yeah, I've always wanted to learn how to trade, but I've always been scared to lose money. If I could get you into a private risk management session, would you attend? Right? I've always wanted to learn how to build the business. If I can get you to a private IBO session with a guy out of Canada who was able to hit our top rank in this company in 6 months, who's put more than several thousand students, he was the first person to launch an entire country. If I can get you in that kind of high level entrepreneurship, if I can get you in a session with him, would you attend? Simple. How many of y'all like that napkin plan and moving through that real quick? Now, I just did it for you fast. You can go back and watch the recording. You can just go ahead.
I love it.
You'll be able to learn that, right? That's simple, right? You're qualifying the guy or girl right then and there.
Dre,
You want more information? Go ahead.
quick question. Why is it called napkin?
Because normally you would sit down at a restaurant and you would just pull out a napkin and write it on a napkin, right across from them.
Love it. Thank you.
Right? Like, it's not even super prepared. Like, I can do this off the top of my head. I know what I'm talking about. Here's what I got. And I got an academy. It does this, 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 and that. Right? Do you want more information? But more
This is
importantly,
for somebody that
more
you're just talking to.
Go ahead, Jennifer. Go ahead. I missed it. Go ahead.
But this is for somebody. I love this napkin presentation, but it's for someone where you're not sending them to a Zoom presentation. You may meet them somewhere and you strike up a conversation and you just put this on the real napkin, or if you have whatever piece of paper you have.
Absolutely. But you can also do this now on Zoom, right? Here's what I say. I just did it on Zoom. I just clicked share screen and hit whiteboard, right? So now what happens is if let's say you inbox one of your friends on social media, you saw the little green light and you said, hey, Carol, I got something super exciting. You got to see this. You got some time today? And she says, well, probably not tonight, but I got time right now. Bam. Because you were planning to invite her to the overview, right? But she said, I got time right now. So listen, we're running a business. A customer says, hey, I got a sale for you. You don't say, hey, well, you know what? It'd be more convenient if I took the sale at 7 o'clock tonight, right? You're going to take the sale. So right now it's they're interested. So you say, okay, boom, let me show you what it is. And now she might have told you, like she might have said, look, I don't have time at 7, but I got some time right now. You show her the plan. You show her that napkin plan. Now you've piqued your curiosity. And now you say, well, what I was going to invite you to at 7 was the fact that we've got this entrepreneur, blah, 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 or this trader, blah, 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 blah. If I can get you into it, would you attend? She may clear her schedule. If I could get you into it, would you be willing to rearrange your schedule for one night so that you can get the information? Right? Now you got something going. And she may say, no, but I can do Tuesday or I can do whatever, right? But you've given them the information and you know whether they're interested, and you're going to save time and energy and effort. All right?
So this might sound like a silly question, but where do you pull up the whiteboard?
No problem. When you hit share screen on the bottom, when you're doing Zoom, you can't see it on mine. But when you hit like on the bottom, it'll say mute, video, participants. Right now, I don't have the options for you guys to share the screen, okay? But there would be a little thing that says share screen. It has a little up arrow. And when you click on it, one of the options just says whiteboard. So it'll either share the screen or you can share a whiteboard.
Okay.
All right. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.